Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nancy Thompson with Create with Nancy, and I'm coming to you today with a couple fun techniques, easy techniques. So no matter what level stamper you are, you can make these cards. So last week we talked about the baby wipe technique. So remember, I showed on Sunday for those that tuned in. I had used the leftover baby wipe that was full of ink and created these fun pieces of paper. I stamped on them with the baby wipe directly to the cardstock. So I wanted to show you how to create a card with them. So that way you're kind of like using everything that you have, okay? So if you're joining in, come on in and say hello. Today is a beautiful day here in Central New York. The sun is shining. The temperature is beautiful. The heat is off. It's just a beautiful day out there today. So I hope you are watching, and if not, you're watching the replay. So hi, Anne. You did that too yesterday. All right. So been busy here today. Mary Pat's getting ready to extract honey tomorrow. So kitchen's been decluttered, cleaned up, and in the morning just kind of wipe down the counters and everything and get started extracting honey. So if I'm not too busy, because I've got to start cutting for some classes tomorrow, so I'm glad to be out of the kitchen and out of the way. So hi, Anne and Gail and Kathy, welcome. So hopefully you're outside sitting on the patio and watching and enjoying this beautiful day. I wish I could go live out there, but anyways, okay, so let's get started, because as I said before, we I showed this on Sunday. So if you tuned in on Sunday, how I took the baby wipe that I had used in last week's episode and I stamped directly onto my cardstock, okay, with the baby wipe. And I just completely covered the cardstock with the ink that was in the baby wipe. So I wanted to show you what I did with that cardstock and created some cards with it. And we're going to add in heat embossing. Who has heat embossed before? It is like magic when you heat emboss. So I'm not sure. I'm going to do my darndest to make sure that that you can see the magic happen, because you know, definitely in person you can see it go from a powder to a nice glossy image when you heat emboss. So hi, Louise and Nancy, welcome. Okay, so let me think here. What do I got to do? So let's get started. Let's see here. So I am using in today's card, I'm using the scalloped contour dies right here. Okay, I'm using this one. And then also the stitched rectangle dies. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. So I'm using these two dies to create my frame on the front of the card. And then I'm also using the Time Worn Type embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder, and it's just kind of like there's words and kind of like splatter on it, which is kind of cool. Just a nice distress type image. So, oh, Colleen is in Aruba. Oh, I hope it's beautiful there for you, Colleen. Enjoy it all. That's one place. Well, I guess I have been to Aruba just briefly for a few hours. Our ship docked there. So anyways, okay, so let's get started. We've done that. So I asked before we got started what color mat we should use, okay? So we've had a Mango Melody and a Granny Apple Green choice. So is there anybody want to put their thoughts into it as to what mat we should use? Because this is what I did. I die cut the baby wipe cardstock, okay? And then we're going to mat it on a color. So let me just throw a bunch of these on, because I think it helps to visualize, you know, what it looks like. And I've also have used a variety of stamp sets, okay? because we're going to heat emboss, and we're going to heat emboss with black embossing powder. And I hate to say it, but I almost think the embossing stuff is either low inventory or unavailable right now. So hopefully if you've heat embossed before, you have some of that already in your supplies. Okay, let me just kind of move, I guess I'll need to move those out of the way. And we're going to just start with this. And now embossing, one thing that they brought back in from our mini catalog was the embossing tray, the tweezer tool, and the buddy. Okay, this is great. This is great to hold on to your cardstock when you're embossing, and this is great to reduce the static from your cardstock, so you don't get all those little pebbles, especially with black cardstock, or if you're using white on a dark color. So okay, I'm glad you guys love all the colors. Let me just see. So we've got to vote for red too. And Jean is here. Hey Jean, welcome. Okay, so let's just set that aside. So we're going to, you need to emboss, to heat emboss, you need a Versamark pad, okay? Now Versamark is like this watercolor ink. It's a clear, sticky type of ink, okay? My pad looks dirty, but that's not gonna do anything. So it's like a sponge, and it's like a glycerin, and it's sticky ink. You always want to have kind of like a juicy ink. You know, you don't want it too dry, okay? You want it, you know, in between dry and juicy, okay? Because you need enough ink for it to stick to the stamp, and then when you stamp, for the powder to stick to your stamped image. Okay, so do we go with the cornflowers or the apples? That's my next question. And then that might determine what mat we use too. So, and then we're going to use, and I'm using my old tray because I have several trays, and I like to keep them designated so I don't have to keep them clean all the time. So if you only have one tray, especially when you're using black, gold, any of them really, when you're switching color to color, I would, you know, make sure you clean up all the powder and put it back in your jar. And then also I would give it a wash, okay? So that way it's clean for the next time you want to emboss. Because you don't want any of that residue left over, because you would hate to get black mixed in with white or like gold in with white. You know, it just gets to be a muddy mess. So I highly recommend, if you only have one tray, to clean it out, you know, when you're done with a color. And that way it's always ready for you. So, hey Donna. Oh, I always love it when you pop in. Okay, so we're doing black. Did anybody answer? You know what? I'm going with the cornflowers because I like how it fits on here a little bit better. But the apples work as well too, okay? But we're gonna go with the cornflowers because that's my favorite. So when I'm using a Versamark pad, I like to just turn it upside down, and that way I tap lightly on it, and I'm not really squishing the stamp all down in, because this is kind of like a fine line stamp, and I kind of want it to, you know, not get too mushy, okay? I don't want too much ink on it, all right? Whoops, we forgot to use the buddy, and what did I do with it? Here we go. I put it over there. So this is how you use the buddy before you even stamp. Is there's just powder in there, and I just rub it over. This reduces, like, if you've got oil on your fingers and you've touched your cardstock, it reduces anything from that powder sticking to it. So just simply wipe it over, and that's all you got to do. So we've inked, and I'm going to just stamp this, okay? Reach over there, and then pull in my tray here. Powder goes everywhere. I definitely would highly recommend you have like a placemat down or a piece of grid paper. So did you see that? Look how this I just covered the whole thing, and then I'm shaking it off, and look how that black is. See how it just stuck to my finger there? All right. So I'm going to just turn it over and just tap it to get rid of any excess powder there. And it does, That's right. It does come with a brush too, so if you did have a little bit there, you could brush around it. You just don't want to disturb that image at all, okay? Okay, so let's pull in our heat tool, and before I do that, let's zoom in because I really want you to see the magic happen, right? Hopefully it will see it. All right, and I'll just kind of go like this. Let's figure that out. Now, this might be a little loud, but it doesn't take long for this to happen. And we'll use our tweezers, okay? That's what the tweezers are for, so you don't burn your fingers, okay? Let's just get this hot for a minute. And hopefully, here we go. Gotta get my... All right, so let's see. We're just going, you want to just kind of keep it moving, okay? Let's see if you can see it happen or not. I don't know. I'm trying to watch the heat, and so just kind of follow the heat gun tip a little bit, and hopefully you'll see it. It's a little bit harder because it's a fine line stamp. And then the way to make sure is just kind of hold it in the light and make sure you don't see any powder left, okay? Because if you touched it and the powder was not melted, it's just going to rub right off, okay? All right, so we got our, and you then just give it a second to cool, and it's all set. But look at that nice embossed image. It just really makes those colors underneath pop. So, okay, so that is heat embossing. Isn't that like so simple to do? All you need, you don't even, if you didn't want to invest in the powder pail tray, then you could just simply use a piece of paper, a coffee filter to pour your powder in. You know, it could even be a simple like this, and then just pour it back into the cup, into the jar. Okay, it doesn't have to be, whatever fits into your budget. But the one thing that's essential, this is an older style heat gun. I don't know where I've got my new one. It's somewheres here. I think it's packed in with a kit that I've got ready to go. So this is the older style, but a heat gun is essential in order to melt that powder. Okay, so now that we've got that done, I don't know. I'm thinking either the yellow or the red or the green. I know, isn't this like so hard to figure out? I don't know about the green. Let's see, what does the mango melody look like? What do you guys think? I think we'll pull the green out. Anybody got a choice here? A voice? I'm thinking either the Daffodil Delight or the Poppy. Let's get down to those two choices. Okay, either Daffodil or the Poppy Parade. So, and while you guys are responding, here I use the soft seedlings. It's okay, I think. I don't know if it's, maybe it's too small of an area. So that could be an option too, because we used that last week, remember? So I'm not sure if I guess it would still look okay. But anyways, I think the more outline images look better. Okay, we're going with Poppy. I've got two Poppy Parades. Anne and Colleen, thanks guys. Okay, so let's adhere this to the Poppy Parade. And let's see here. Let's do this, add a little bit of this glue. I want to make sure I get it close to the, kind of close to the edge. And this really fits pretty darn close in here. You know, it's a little bit narrow, but that's okay. I don't think anybody really will notice it. Because when you're heat embossing, it kind of like, see how my cardstock here lifts a little bit? Whoops. Right there, it looks a little wavy there. So that's why I wanted to make sure I get some glue next to the edges so it lays down a little flatter. Okay. Hey Shirley, welcome. Okay, let's grab some dimensionals. I'm going to dimensionalize this, and we'll just set this aside while we get the card base ready. Okay, and let's see, what are we doing for the card base? So I've already pre-embossed a quarter sheet of cardstock. That's 4 by 5.5. And we've got some thick basic white cardstock for our base. That's 4¼ by 11 inches. So there is a right way and a wrong way. So there are words on here, so you want to make sure your words are going the right direction, okay? So we're simply going to adhere this to our card base, just so it has a little bit of texture. This is a really simple, basic card that you could kind of create and then just set it aside, because we are actually not putting any words on it, okay? So it's just a simple layer on there, just to kind of, I don't know if you guys can see this. I feel like my lights, let me just turn my lights off and see if that makes a difference. Nope, that's really dark now, so let's put that back on. There we go. There you can see the texture, okay? So just subtle texture on there. And then we're going to just put our label here on top. And that's how quick this was, other than just cutting your supplies. All right. So I couldn't decide, just do I leave it like this, Nancy, or does it need like a bow, or does it need some gems? What do you guys think? Does it need anything else? Let me show you one that I did with the bow. And actually this one is with Daffodil Delight. What do you guys think? So really you could kind of do like this kind of scheme in all the different frames, you know, as a great gift for somebody, or as you're making them up too. So what do you think of the bow on there? Let me move that a little closer. Can you see? With a bow or without a bow? So while you guys are answering that, let me show you the other samples. So of course I just simply stamped the cornflower in the Daffodil Delight. I matched the frame up, okay? And here's the apple one, the yes, what's it called? Apple Harvest stamp set, okay? This one I put a bow on too, but I don't know. Do I need the bows? Do I take them off? This one here is Nature's Print. So I thought this one looked good with the green background. Now this has more like filled in line art. So this is where you want to be careful in, you know, not pressing too hard with your stamp so you don't get much, too much Versamark coating that stamped image. Okay. And then this one is with, I think it's hand penned petals. Okay. I like this one. So when I was trying to decide what color embossing powder to use, I had this piece of scrap that this was kind of like towards the end. And I was trying to, first I started with the white embossing powder. Can you see that? And I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. And then I decided to try the black. I think the black makes it really sharp and stand out. So, okay, so bling, you guys are saying. So I'm thinking, I don't know what I have here. Do I have anything here? Yikes. I don't know if I have any rhinestones. Let me see here. Large jewels. Let's grab some. See if I got some jewels. These are big ones. So let's try the jewels on here. I think just some clear ones. Oh, I got a variety here. Yeah, this might look okay. Let's give this a whirl and see here. Let's see. Where's my pick tool? Grab that. Okay, where do I want to put a jewel? This is where I always like. Okay, Nancy. Let's go there. And then let's do another one up here, I guess. Let's see. I guess we'll go up here. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys think of the jewels? Can you see them? So I've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah. It's hard to like. There we go. Okay. Okay. So jewels or no, because I can always take them off, but I think the red looks striking too. So, All right, guys. So, who's gonna give Heat Embossing a try if you've never done it before? I don't think anybody answered me about whether they are new to Heat Embossing or not. So definitely try the baby wipe technique, and with your leftover baby wipes, stamp up some plain cardstock and see what you can come up with. I mean, I didn't try it. You know what? Let's try it in black ink, okay? Because I didn't try that, and I was going to before. So while I've got your attention, let's see. I got a memento here. And the other thing I wanted to let you know was, looking for my scrubbing pad. Okay, here we go. Normally, I use the chamois, right? But sometimes I like going back to the original Stamp and Scrub, okay? And the mist, because Versamark is just so sticky. You can feel it on your ink pad or on your stamps. And just use our Stamp and Mist as well. Just give it a little spritz. Both sides are black, but in the beginning they had white pads, so I switched some of mine around as they came out, and had a black and a white, just so could remember, customers could remember which side is the wash. You can see it foam up a little bit. Just that the scrubber kind of gets down in and scrubs your stamp a little bit better than using that chamois. The soap, the mist just kind of like dissolves that Versamark a little bit more, okay? And then if you wanted to, then you could take the chamois and just give it a little wash on here if you wanted to, okay? So lots of great uses for different tools. And then I always like to try to make sure my stamps are clean by stamping on, a grid paper. Okay, so I'm trying to get my lid off here. Let's ink up our cornflower here, and we're going to stamp this here. So that way, if you didn't have embossing powder or a heat gun, you'd still feel confident that you could do this and it would still look great. Oh, yeah, it still looks good. What do you guys think? I think it looks, either way will look awesome no matter which way you decide to do it. But let's get a little better feel here, and let's add it to a mat, because then I think it'll really make it pop. Let's make sure we get near the edge, because it's cool. There we go. And just remember, choose whatever color inks you have or want to use. They don't have to be bold and bright. Okay. You know what? And I've got more cardstock here, right? Look at that. That's just gonna look awesome, I think. Okay. All right. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And let me know if you have any questions. Remember, you can place an order for any of these supplies. There's my October host code to use in the online store. And come back next week again at 3 p.m. for some more creative ink with me. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but it will be fun as well. And if you have something that you want to see that I haven't shown before, and if possible, and I can, just always message me and let me know, okay? So thanks for joining me. I appreciate you, and enjoy this beautiful day. Get out in the sunshine. That's where I'm headed, hopefully. And we will see you all soon. And oh, one more thing. If you're local to me, come to a class. There's classes this Friday, next Tuesday, and next Friday. So just message me to sign up for a time, and come stamp with me, okay? I haven't posted samples, but I kind of gave a sneak peek on Sunday what will be available. So come on out, because I'm cutting now. So I'd rather cut and get everything ready for you to come and stamp, okay? Bye-bye. Have a great day.